There is a force quietly working against millions of people as they age, a force that steals independence, confidence, and vitality without warning. It is not a sudden event, but a slow, invisible erosion of the very thing that allows freedom of movement and the energy to live fully, muscle mass. This silent thief is known as muscle loss, or sarcopenia, and it begins earlier than most realize. For many, it starts in their 40s, accelerates in their 50s, and by the time they reach their 70s, it has already stripped away half of their strength. The effects are devastating, even if they appear subtle at first. Walking across a room feels slightly slower. Standing up from a chair requires more effort. Climbing stairs brings an unfamiliar heaviness in the legs. These are not just signs of getting older. They are signals that the body's structural foundation is weakening. And if ignored, this decline sets the stage for falls, injuries, loss of mobility, and the shrinking of life itself into smaller and smaller boundaries. But what if the narrative could be rewritten? What if the body, even at the age of 75, still held the potential to regenerate lost muscle, not just to stop the decline, but to rebuild strength, power, and stability? Modern science confirms this is not just wishful thinking, it is reality. The human body is a masterpiece of renewal, constantly replacing cells, repairing tissues, and adapting to the conditions it is given. If it is deprived of the nutrients it needs, it will shrink and weaken. But if it is given the right fuel, it will rise again. The most astonishing part is that this renewal can be sparked by a single everyday food, not a rare exotic fruit, not a complicated supplement, not an expensive treatment. Just one nutrient-dense food, available to nearly everyone, capable of switching the body from breakdown mode to rebuilding mode. The power it holds is not based on trends or marketing hype, but on pure biological necessity, giving aging muscles exactly what they require to grow stronger. This discovery challenges the common belief that muscle loss is an irreversible part of aging. For decades, people have been told, you just have to accept it. But acceptance is not a solution. The truth is, the body responds to proper nourishment at any age. With the right stimulus, the muscles of a 75-year-old can activate the same rebuilding processes seen in someone decades younger. The silent thief of strength does not have to win. The choice lies in whether the body is left defenseless or armed with the fuel it needs to fight back. And this one food, simple, accessible, and profoundly effective, may be the most powerful weapon in that fight. It offers a second chance at strength, not just for the young, but for those who thought their days of building muscle were long gone. The real cost of lost muscle is far more than a means to lift, push, or carry. It is a living engine that keeps the body stable, balanced, and functional. It is the protector of joints, the support for bones, and a key regulator of metabolism. Without it, the body becomes fragile, movements become unstable, and life itself becomes harder to navigate. Muscle mass acts as a reservoir of strength, fueling every step, every reach, and every lift. When it begins to fade, the decline touches nearly every system in the body. The truth is, muscle loss doesn't just reduce strength. It rewrites the entire blueprint of health. As muscles weaken, bones are placed under greater strain, making them more vulnerable to fractures. Balance becomes less reliable, turning simple actions like walking or turning into potential hazards. With less muscle to burn energy, metabolism slows, leading to weight gain and a higher risk of conditions like type 2 diabetes. The heart, lungs, and immune system are all indirectly affected because they must work harder to keep the body functioning without the support strong muscles provide. The progression is slow at first, so it is often ignored. A little extra tiredness when carrying groceries. A bit more difficulty standing after sitting for a while. Perhaps the inability to walk as far without taking a break. But over the years, these seemingly small signs accumulate. By the age of 75, up to half of the body's original muscle mass may be gone. This is not simply about appearance or vanity, it is about the loss of physical independence. Tasks once taken for granted can suddenly feel like challenges. Getting out of bed, walking to the store, or lifting a bag of laundry. Yet, despite how common this decline is, it is not destiny. The body does not simply give up its muscle because of age. It gives it up because the signals for growth, adequate nutrition, and the right type of movement are no longer provided. The decline is the result of neglect, not inevitability. And that is the most hopeful truth of all. What is lost can be rebuilt. The breakthrough lies in understanding what the body is asking for. Muscles do not grow from calories alone. They grow from specific nutrients that trigger protein synthesis, the body's internal process of repairing and expanding muscle fibers. Most people past middle age do not consume enough of these nutrients, creating a slow starvation at the cellular level. But when the body finally receives them in the right form, something remarkable happens. The decline stops, the repair begins. And even in the later decades of life, the body responds with a measurable return of strength, stability, and energy. Muscle loss may be a widespread problem, but it is also a reversible one. The right nourishment can rebuild the body's engine, restoring the ability to move with confidence, live with independence, and experience life without the constant reminder of weakness. The cost of ignoring muscle loss is steep, but the reward for reversing it is immeasurable. The science behind reversal: the human body is not static. It is in a constant state of breakdown and repair. Every single day, muscle fibers are being broken down through daily activity and rebuilt through a process known as protein synthesis. In youth, this rebuilding easily keeps pace with breakdown, often outpacing it, which is why younger bodies recover quickly from activity or injury. But as the decades pass, the balance shifts. The rate of muscle breakdown begins to exceed the rate of repair, and this gradual deficit is what leads to muscle loss over time. The core reason this shift happens is not simply age in itself. It's the body's reduced sensitivity to protein, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. In younger years, even a modest amount of dietary protein can trigger a strong rebuilding response. But in older adults, the same amount no longer stimulates muscle repair as effectively. As a result, the body slips into a slow but steady decline in muscle mass. Here's where the science becomes incredibly hopeful. Research shows that anabolic resistance is not permanent. It can be overcome, and quite dramatically, with the right type and amount of protein, especially when delivered in a highly bioavailable form. In simple terms, older muscles are still capable of building strength. They just need a stronger signal to do so. This signal comes in the form of essential amino acids, the building blocks of muscle tissue. Among them, one stands out for its ability to flip the body into growth mode: leucine. Leucine acts like a switch, activating a key pathway inside muscle cells known as mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. When mTOR is triggered, it instructs the body to start building new muscle fibers immediately. This is the same process that athletes rely on to grow stronger, and it works for seniors as well when the right nutrients are supplied. Unfortunately, many diets fail to deliver enough leucine or the full spectrum of essential amino acids required for complete muscle rebuilding. Even those who believe they eat enough protein often fall short, especially if their sources are incomplete or poorly absorbed. Without these key nutrients, the body remains stuck in breakdown mode, no matter how much food is consumed. But when older adults consume a protein source rich in leucine and all essential amino acids, and in a form the body can absorb quickly, the results can be astonishing. Studies have documented measurable gains in muscle mass and strength in people well into their 70s and 80s, sometimes within just weeks of consistent intake. These gains are not just about looking stronger, they translate into better balance, faster walking speed, easier daily movement, and a reduced risk of falls and injuries. The science is clear. Muscle loss is not an irreversible sentence. It is the result of a biochemical imbalance that can be corrected. And there exists a single food rich in the exact amino acids older muscles crave that can send the body an unmistakable message: rebuild. This is the beginning of turning back the clock on muscle decline, not through theory, but through proven biological response. The hidden power of complete protein. Not all protein is created equal. While it's true that many foods contain protein, the type, quality, and balance of amino acids within that protein determine how effectively the body can use it to rebuild muscle. For aging muscles, this distinction is critical. Consuming some protein is not enough. The body requires complete protein, a source that contains all 9 essential amino acids in the right ratios for human physiology. Essential amino acids are called essential because the body cannot make them on its own. They must be obtained from food. Without them, protein synthesis, the process of repairing and building muscle fibers, simply cannot occur efficiently. Incomplete proteins, while beneficial in other ways, leave gaps that the body must try to fill from other sources, often leading to slower repair and weaker muscle response. In younger individuals, this gap is easier to overcome. Their bodies can recycle amino acids more efficiently and require a smaller trigger to stimulate muscle growth. But for seniors, every gram of protein matters. The type and digestibility of the protein become the difference between maintaining strength and continuing to lose it. This is where complete protein stands apart. It offers the body everything it needs in a single, powerful package. When consumed, it floods the bloodstream with amino acids, delivering them directly to muscle tissue. Among these, leucine plays the role of the master switch, signaling the body to shift into muscle-building mode. But leucine alone is not enough. The other essential amino acids are the bricks needed to construct new muscle fibers. Without them, leucine's signal cannot result in lasting repair. Unfortunately, many common protein sources for seniors are incomplete or poorly absorbed. Beans, grains, and vegetables, while healthy, lack the full amino acid profile or require large quantities to match the effectiveness of a smaller portion of complete protein. Even certain meats and dairy products vary widely in digestibility and amino acid content. This means that despite eating enough protein in terms of quantity, many older adults are still in a nutritional deficit when it comes to muscle repair. The solution lies in a food that is naturally complete, highly digestible, and rich in the precise amino acid balance that aging muscles respond to best. It's not a powder, not a synthetic supplement, but a whole natural source that the body recognizes and absorbs with remarkable efficiency. The digestion process is rapid, ensuring that amino acids reach the muscles quickly, exactly when they are needed most for repair and rebuilding. When such a protein source is consumed consistently, the effects accumulate. Muscle fibers grow denser and stronger. The body's metabolic rate improves. Energy levels rise because muscles are more capable of handling everyday tasks. This isn't simply about avoiding weakness, it's about actively restoring the physical foundation that supports every movement, every breath, and every heartbeat. Complete protein is not a luxury for seniors. It is a necessity. And when the right source is chosen, it becomes one of the most powerful tools available to reverse muscle loss and reclaim vitality at any age. Fighting sarcopenia at the root. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and function, is often spoken of as though it's an unavoidable part of getting older. But the truth is, it's not simply a matter of time passing. It's the direct result of a very specific biological imbalance. At its core, sarcopenia occurs when the body's rate of muscle breakdown consistently exceeds its rate of muscle repair. This tipping of the scales happens when essential building blocks for muscle maintenance are missing, leaving the body with no choice but to cannibalize its own muscle tissue to meet other needs. Think of muscle as a construction project that requires both workers and raw materials. The body is the construction crew, ready to do repairs and build new structures, but without the right materials, high-quality, complete proteins, there is nothing to build with. Over time, this shortage forces the body to redirect whatever limited amino acids it can get toward critical systems like organ function and immune defense, leaving muscles neglected and allowed to waste away. This neglect is compounded by anabolic resistance, the reduced responsiveness of older muscle cells to protein signals. Without a strong enough trigger, even when some protein is consumed, the body's muscle-building machinery remains idle. It's like sending workers to a construction site without giving them the blueprint or the motivation to start. The game changer comes when the body is given a protein source so complete, so rich in leucine and other essential amino acids, that it overrides anabolic resistance. This is more than just feeding the body. It's sending a clear and urgent command to rebuild. The right food acts like a catalyst, not only supplying raw materials, but also flipping the internal switches that tell muscle fibers to grow, repair, and strengthen. When this happens, the process of sarcopenia can slow to a crawl, and in many cases begin to reverse. The muscles that were once shrinking start to hold their ground. Fibers that were thinning begin to thicken. Strength that seemed gone forever returns, first in subtle ways, steadier steps, improved posture, and then in more obvious forms like greater endurance and the ability to handle tasks that had become difficult. What makes this approach so powerful is that it addresses sarcopenia at its true root cause, inadequate and ineffective protein intake. Exercise can stimulate muscle growth, yes, but without the right nutrition to fuel that growth, progress will be limited. This is why so many seniors who remain active still experience muscle loss. They are missing the very foundation upon which strength is built. By targeting the root cause and supplying the body with an optimal source of complete protein, the cycle of loss can be interrupted. Instead of breaking down more tissue than it builds, the body shifts toward a net gain in muscle, and with each day of consistent nourishment, the structural foundation of health, strong, functional muscle, becomes more secure. Rebuilding beyond strength. When muscle mass begins to return, the benefits ripple far beyond the obvious increase in strength. Muscle is not just a tool for movement, it is a metabolic powerhouse and a protective shield for nearly every system in the body. Restoring muscle in later years is like upgrading the body's entire operating system, making it more efficient, more resilient, and more capable of handling the demands of daily life. One of the most immediate effects of muscle restoration is improved metabolic health. Muscle tissue is the body's primary site for glucose disposal. The more muscle you have, the better your body is at regulating blood sugar levels. This means reduced risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, two conditions that become increasingly common with age. Strong muscles act like sponges for blood sugar, pulling glucose out of the bloodstream and using it for energy instead of allowing it to cause damage. The benefits don't stop there. Stronger muscles support better balance and coordination, which directly reduces the risk of falls, one of the leading causes of injury and loss of independence in seniors. Even a modest gain in muscle mass can improve reaction times, stability, and confidence when moving, allowing individuals to navigate their environment more safely. There's also a profound impact on joint health. When muscles are weak, joints are forced to bear more load, increasing wear and tear over time. Rebuilt muscle acts as a supportive brace around the joints, absorbing some of the stress and reducing pain or stiffness. Many older adults who regain muscle strength report less discomfort in their knees, hips, and lower back, making movement more enjoyable and sustainable. Then there's the connection between muscle and the immune system. Muscle tissue serves as a reservoir for amino acids used in producing immune cells and repairing tissues after illness or injury. This is why individuals with higher muscle mass tend to recover faster from illness, surgery, or physical stress. Rebuilding muscle is, in essence, reinforcing the body's defense system from the inside out. Another often overlooked benefit is posture and breathing. Weak muscles, especially in the core and back, can lead to slouching and a collapsed chest position which restricts lung capacity. Stronger muscles restore proper alignment, opening the lungs for deeper, more efficient breathing, something that can significantly improve energy levels and endurance. The most inspiring change, however, might be in mental health and confidence. The act of regaining physical ability sends a powerful message to the mind. Aging does not have to mean decline. Standing taller, moving with ease, and having the energy to participate in activities you love brings a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. This is why the fight against muscle loss is not just about strength, it's about reclaiming life itself. With the right nutritional foundation, the body doesn't just get stronger, it becomes more balanced, more resilient, and more alive in every sense. And it all starts with giving the muscles what they need to thrive. The 75-year-old advantage for decades, the belief that it's too late, has discouraged countless older adults from even trying to rebuild lost muscle. Many assume that once the body reaches its 70s, the machinery for growth has shut down for good. But modern research has shattered this outdated assumption. The truth is, the body's ability to build muscle does not vanish with age. It only becomes less sensitive to the signals that trigger growth. And with the right approach, those signals can be amplified to levels comparable to someone decades younger. Scientific studies on adults in their 70s and even 80s reveal a remarkable truth. Given the right nutrition, particularly high-quality, leucine-rich protein, the muscle-building process, known as muscle protein synthesis, can be reactivated to near-youthful levels. This means that the same biological machinery that once built strength in early adulthood is still present and capable of doing the job, even after years of decline. It's not gone, it's simply waiting for the right command to switch back on. This finding is revolutionary because it turns the common narrative about aging upside down. Instead of accepting weakness and fragility as inevitable, older adults can view their bodies as responsive, adaptable, and ready to improve when properly fueled. In fact, some research suggests that older individuals may, in certain cases, see faster relative improvements in strength and function than younger people, simply because they are starting from a greater deficit. Every gain is more noticeable, more life-changing. Overcoming anabolic resistance is the key. This is the reduced responsiveness of older muscles to protein intake. While a younger person may need only a moderate serving of protein to trigger growth, older adults require a more concentrated and higher quality source to achieve the same result. When that need is met, the response can be dramatic: firmer muscles, stronger grip, steadier balance, and better endurance, often within a matter of weeks. Beyond the science, there's a profound psychological shift that happens when someone in their 70s or older experiences measurable physical improvement. The simple act of walking upstairs without fatigue, carrying heavier grocery bags, or rising from a chair without using hands becomes proof that age is not a sentence to decline. This renewed capability often sparks motivation in other areas: more movement, better eating habits, and a deeper engagement with life. The 75-year-old advantage lies in this combination of biological responsiveness and visible transformation. While younger adults may gain strength for performance or appearance, older adults gain it for freedom, safety, and independence, benefits that have an immediate, tangible impact on quality of life. And it all starts with breaking the myth that rebuilding is impossible. Age is not the enemy, inaction is. The muscle-building machinery still works. It just needs the right fuel and the right push. And once it's reactivated, the years ahead can be stronger, steadier, and more vibrant than many ever thought possible. How fast can results appear? Rebuilding muscle. After years or even decades of decline might sound like a slow and uncertain process, but the human body is far more responsive than most people realize. Once it receives the right nutrition and stimulus, positive changes can begin sooner than expected. While it's important to understand that full transformation takes time, the first signs of progress can often be seen and felt within just a few weeks. For many, the earliest improvement is a boost in energy and endurance. Everyday activities that previously felt draining, such as walking from one room to another, climbing stairs, or standing for extended periods, start to feel easier. This isn't just psychological, it's a direct result of muscles becoming more efficient at producing and using energy. As muscle fibers repair and strengthen, they require less effort to perform the same tasks, leaving more energy in reserve for other activities. Next comes improved stability and balance. Weak muscles make it harder to control movements, increasing the risk of missteps and falls. But as muscle fibers in the legs, hips, and core strengthen, the body becomes more grounded. People often notice they can turn more confidently, stand up without wobbling, or walk on uneven surfaces with less hesitation. This change alone can dramatically improve confidence and independence. By the 6 to 8 week mark, visible changes in muscle tone and firmness may appear. The arms and legs can feel more solid, and clothes may fit differently as the body composition shifts, often with a slight reduction in fat as the metabolism picks up speed. This stage is a turning point for many because the changes are no longer just something they feel, they can see and measure them. One of the most encouraging signs during this period is reduced joint strain and discomfort. As muscles strengthen, they take on more of the workload from the joints, easing pressure on knees, hips, and lower back. This allows for smoother, more comfortable movement and can even make moderate exercise or physical therapy more enjoyable, further accelerating progress. By 3 months and beyond, the improvements compound. Muscle mass continues to grow, endurance expands, and activities that once seemed impossible, carrying heavier objects, walking long distances, or standing for extended periods, can become part of daily life again. The gains may not be as rapid as those of a young athlete, but they are steady, meaningful, and deeply life-enhancing. It's important to note that this transformation doesn't require excessive effort or extreme routines. Consistency is the real driver of change. The combination of daily intake of a complete leucine-rich protein source and regular movement, even in simple forms, creates a powerful cycle of repair and growth. Every week of commitment brings a body closer to renewed strength and vitality. And perhaps the most inspiring part is this: each bit of progress builds on the last. The body rewards consistent care, and once the rebuilding process begins, momentum works in your favor. The key is to start, Because the sooner the process begins, the sooner the results appear. The food that changes everything after understanding the science of muscle loss, the power of protein, and the speed at which the body can respond. It's time to focus on the single food that consistently stands out for seniors aiming to reverse muscle decline: eggs. Yes, the humble egg, long recognized for its versatility in the kitchen, is also one of the most nutrient-dense and muscle-supporting foods available. What makes eggs extraordinary is their perfect amino acid profile, which provides the body with all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios needed for optimal muscle repair and growth. Among these, leucine plays a starring role. As one of the most potent muscle-building amino acids, leucine triggers a process called muscle protein synthesis, which is the body's way of repairing and building stronger fibers after they've been used or stressed. Unlike many other protein sources, the protein in eggs is highly bioavailable, meaning the body can absorb and utilize nearly all of it without waste. This efficiency becomes especially important for seniors, as digestion and protein utilization often decline with age. With eggs, there's no need for complex digestion or multiple food combinations. The body receives exactly what it needs in a form it can use immediately. But eggs are more than just protein. They are rich in vitamin D, which supports bone health and indirectly benefits muscle strength by maintaining a strong skeletal structure. They also contain vitamin B12, essential for nerve function, and choline, a nutrient that supports brain health, both critical factors in maintaining coordination and movement. The healthy fats in the yolk aid in hormone production, including testosterone and growth hormone, which play direct roles in muscle maintenance for both men and women. A key advantage of eggs is their accessibility and affordability. While some muscle-supporting foods can be expensive or hard to prepare, eggs are simple, quick to cook, and adaptable to countless dishes. This means they can easily be included in daily meals without complicated planning or special shopping. The fear of cholesterol often holds some people back from embracing eggs fully. However, extensive research has shown that for the majority of people, dietary cholesterol has little to no impact on blood cholesterol levels. In fact, the nutrients in eggs can improve the ratio of good to bad cholesterol, supporting overall cardiovascular health, a vital consideration for anyone over 65. For seniors, the benefits go beyond muscle. Regular egg consumption supports stronger bones, sharper cognition, and better energy levels. It creates a foundation for the body to not just slow down muscle loss, but to actively rebuild what has been lost over the years. When combined with consistent movement and an overall nutrient-rich diet, eggs become a cornerstone of healthy aging. They are a small, everyday choice that leads to remarkable long-term results. Proof that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. Muscle loss after 60 is not an unstoppable fate. It's a choice. The body's ability to rebuild and regain strength does not disappear simply because the years have passed. The truth is, every cell in the body is constantly renewing, repairing, and adapting. This means change is always possible, even at 65, 75, or beyond. The key lies in consistent, deliberate action. Every day offers 2 options: to continue the patterns that allow muscle decline to accelerate, or to nourish and strengthen the body in ways that reverse the damage. The difference between weakness and vitality often comes down to small, daily habits that accumulate into powerful results. Incorporating nutrient-rich foods like eggs into your routine is not just about eating, it's about rebuilding your foundation. Each bite delivers amino acids to repair muscle fibers, vitamins to support energy production, and healthy fats to keep your hormones balanced. This is not a temporary fix, it's a daily commitment to longevity. Imagine walking with greater stability, carrying groceries without strain, climbing stairs without hesitation, and living free from the fear of falls. These are not dreams reserved for the young. They are realities waiting for anyone willing to take control of their nutrition and movement today. But action must start now, not someday. Every week without proper nutrition is a week where muscle fibers weaken further. Every meal without enough high-quality protein is a missed opportunity to rebuild strength. And every excuse pushes the goal of vitality further away. Start small, but start immediately. Make eggs a consistent part of your meals. Pair them with vegetables for added antioxidants and with whole, unprocessed foods to fuel the body naturally. Combine this with regular moderate resistance exercises, even simple bodyweight movements, to signal to your muscles that they are needed. The combination of proper nutrition and movement is the most powerful anti-aging formula available. Do not underestimate the impact of this single change. History is full of people who rebuilt their health, reversed years of decline, and achieved levels of strength they thought were gone forever. The difference was not luck or genetics. It was action. Every meal is an opportunity. Every day is a chance to grow stronger. The decision is yours, and the best time to begin is always now. Fuel your body with what it needs. Demand more from your muscles. Refuse to accept decline as inevitable. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. Now, take the first step and make the years ahead the strongest of your life.